Hours before Renisha McBride ended up on Ted Wafer's front porch, the 19-year-old was hanging out with her best friend, Amber Jenkins.
Welcome back to Something in the Shadows. Hit that subscribe button and the like button, and let's get into today's true crime episode. On one cold and rainy night in Michigan, the life of a 19-year-old girl named Renisha McBride took a tragic and unexpected turn. She had crashed her car on a desolate street, her world spinning out of control in the pouring rain. Despite the physical injuries she had sustained, Renisha summoned the last remnants of her strength to seek help, leading her to a nearby house where she urgently banged on the door. However, what awaited her on the other side would change her fate forever. Renisha's ordeal began as she crawled out of her wrecked car, her vision blurred by the impact and a sharp pain coursing through her hand. But her physical injuries were just the beginning. More about her mental state would come to light later in the investigation. Despite her pain and disorientation, Renisha was determined to find help. She embarked on an arduous journey towards a nearby house, desperately pounding on the door, hoping someone would answer her plea for assistance. Regrettably, when the homeowner of that house, Theodore Wafer, opened the door that fateful night, he was armed with a shotgun. In a tragic twist of fate, Renisha found herself staring down the barrel of that shotgun, her young life cut short in a cruel instant. The date was November 2nd, 2013, and as the rain continued to pour, tragedy unfolded. Theodore, realizing the gravity of the situation, immediately called 911, his voice trembling with panic and remorse as he explained that he believed there was an immediate threat. The dispatcher, on the other end of the line, tried to assess the situation and sent help as quickly as possible. Detectives arrived at the scene and began questioning Theodore about the night's events. He explained how he had heard persistent knocking on the door, causing him to fear for his safety. He described his state of shock when he realized he had shot someone. Renisha, suffering from a gunshot wound to her head, was found by officers and pronounced dead on arrival. The rain-soaked night had turned into a nightmare, and the puzzle of what had transpired was only beginning to be pieced together. As detectives delved deeper into the case, inconsistencies in Theodore's account began to emerge, casting doubt on the nature of the events that led to Renisha's tragic death. The claim of self-defense became the cornerstone of Theodore's defense, asserting that he had perceived a genuine threat to his safety when he opened the door that night. A key revelation during the investigation was a troubling 3-hour gap between the initial 911 call reporting Renisha's car accident and the fatal shooting. The whereabouts and actions of Renisha during this crucial time remained a mystery, adding complexity and intrigue to the case. The legal consequences Theodore faced were grave. He was charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, and felony firearm possession. Theodore's defense attorney vigorously argued the self-defense angle, but the weight of the evidence appeared to be against him. The court proceedings were filled with tension as Theodore awaited his fate. In the end, the judge delivered a verdict that shook the courtroom. Theodore Wafer was found guilty on all charges. The consequences of that fateful night were irreversible, and Theodore was sentenced to serve 15 to 30 years in prison. The legal saga continued when, in a surprising turn of events, the Michigan Supreme Court decided to revisit Theodore's case in 2015. They vacated his manslaughter conviction due to legal inconsistencies, sparking hope for a possible reduction in his sentence. However, it was not until 2022 that Theodore faced a re-sentencing hearing. The judge, considering the details of the case and the gravity of the charges, decided to reaffirm his original sentence of 15 to 30 years for second-degree murder. The Renisha McBride case stands as a poignant reminder of the profound and often heart-wrenching consequences that can arise from a single moment's decision. It underscores the importance of meticulous investigations, fair legal proceedings, and the tireless pursuit of justice, even in the face of the most tragic circumstances.